Alrighty, good morning, everyone, and happy Friday. Happy Juneteenth, and welcome to the live trading with Kate session. You are in for a treat today because I have a lot in store for you guys. In addition to live trading, just want to keep you guys on the loop of what's been going on and what's new at KaitTrades. Have created some new resources that are going to help with the trading day, and I want to really illustrate how we can take advantage of these resources to help you. See the charts clearly. So as far as today, right, the stock market is closed, meaning that the futures market is going to be more volatile. However, there were trade opportunities today. Now, what I've created after some time and some back and forth with the coding team is just being able to create, give me one sec as I bring it up, is a daily kind of stock pick, futures pick, forex pick list for whichever one you're interested in. I'm going to illustrate how you would use it here. But what this is going to do is it's going to help you find trade opportunities so much faster than you have before. So what I've done here is what I'm going to share is the future scan, since the futures markets are open today, and illustrate how you would use this to find trade opportunities. And we'll go through the list and see which ones are set up, which ones would have already been working. So the daily futures scan here is going to pick the top 10 futures products that it's able to scan through its system by identifying the setups that we do in the events, in the live trading room, in the pre-market live trading room. It's able to pull in everything that you guys know and love and pull it into the charts and actually be able to assess them and choose the top 10 and grade them. Very cool stuff. Hey, Mark, good to see you. Glad you're here. So just to illustrate, for those of you who are unaware, just kind of from a general standpoint, what we talk about as of lately is where the sweet spot is, which is going to be, for those of us who don't know, really the general area of where we're looking to buy or sell on a product. So for the S&P, for example, what it's pinpointing between these two arrows is the sweet spot on the S&P, and it's saying that here's the area where the sellers are very, very strong. How do we take advantage of this? Well, two different ways, and they're going to be kind of illustrated down here, is when you have a sweet spot that's been formed, you can take a momentum trade and trade in the direction of that as a breakout trade. So imagine you got this list at 8 a.m. Eastern. This is going to be a daily email that you get sent. Imagine you got this email at 8 a.m. You could have already been in on the trade with a short breakout and be up over 10 points on the S&P. The alternative is, if you're not a big breakout fan, to wait for the pullback into a zone. And what it's going to do is it's going to isolate some of the zones that it sees. You can also look for them, in the sweet spot yourself, but it's going to look for those two candle flips, those continuation dojis. Let me see what else. We've also got a double-sided breakout. And some of these verbiages should sound familiar. And then the other one, which I don't think is pulling up, is going to be the wick over wick reversal. But as you can see, it's picking the top 10. And notice that all of these have short readings. So as the markets are moving down, we're going to be looking for short opportunities today. This is a great resource if you want something to kind of pinpoint the top 5 or 10 setups if you're not really sure how to isolate them. What this is going to do is really do it for you so you can take advantage of them as they're moving. Like, here's one here. We've got this sweet spot identified. Price came back into it. You can find your zone in that sweet spot. Again, if you want to take it as a breakout trade, you can, or as price pulls back to that area, you can look for your zone located in that area. Now, for today, I mentioned the markets are moving down, so it's pulling all short trades. It's not looking for any long setups. And that's just because it's bringing in all that analysis to say, okay, we're looking for short trades today. And then what we can do in today's session is we can look at these, set up some trades based upon what the scanner is bringing up, if the sweet spot hasn't already gone too far yet, or if there is a zone in there, like this one on British pound, we have a sweet spot identified to go short. In the simplest terms, we look to find a zone inside that area. Here's a good example of one that would have worked yesterday on British pound, because here was when the sweet spot was formed, when it broke that low. And then when it came back up, the zone that it picked was up a little bit higher, but there's also an activated doji zone here. That would have been the trade, and then you would get in on that move. So really cool resource. As I'm sharing this with you guys, let me know if you have any questions on the layout, and we'll start adding these to our charts today. We'll go over what it says and kind of add these, but what you're going to have is you're going to have a scanner for stocks, you're going to have a scanner for futures. So those of you who are interested in the stock scans, that's going to be here, and it's also going to pull the top 10 here. So here it's scanning. The cool thing about this is that it's going to allow you to actually rescan throughout the day. You will get one daily email at 8 a.m. Eastern, but you can also rerun the scan to kind of update what it's seeing and find those new trade opportunities. I hope, can everyone else see my charts? Or I'm just sharing the website page right now. Can everyone see? Hopefully. Okay. Yeah, I'll bring up a chart in a second, but just to illustrate. Okay, awesome. Thanks, guys. Yeah, all of these are going to be the trading view charts. Do you see the website, Dave? And then I'm going to come over to my charts in a second. Just wanted to share this, but since again, stocks, not really doing too much today, I'm going to come over to futures and we'll set this up. So no. Yeah, to access the scan, I'll go over that kind of towards the end. It's going to be, if you go to KaitTrades.com, go to where it says daily trade picks up at the top, and then you can see stocks, futures, and Forex there. Dave, maybe it's, and if anyone else has any suggestions, you can always type it in the chat. Sometimes you guys have better answers than me, but just the audio, sometimes it's hiding, or sometimes it needs to, I'm trying to think. If you hover over like your Zoom button at the bottom, it may bring up the screen from there if you're only seeing. Okay, got it. Thanks, Dave. Yeah, so KaitTrades.com, all of these daily trade picks are going to be on this page here. So you'll click that daily trade picks, and it's going to break down pretty much all the new scans, the stocks, futures, Forex. So I want to first start, before we get into that, just kind of setting up some trades for today. What I'm going to do is rerun the scan, so it's giving us the top 10 setups. Again, it's going to grade them, so you can see 74, 74. Those are going to be the top ones. And then as you go down the list, usually the grading is going to get lower. So I would start with the top of the list, right? Start with like the S&P, which says look to go short. This is how I did the scan, is for low time frames for right now. So a lot of what it's going to be pulling is 15-minute charts, or here we have a 1-hour chart on soybean oil, soybeans. So it brings in pretty much all the futures products, including agricultures, foreign currency futures. And yeah, so S&P, we're looking to go short today. 15-minute time frame, it's isolating a continuation doji, which is going to be, I'm going to zoom in here. It's finding this doji within the sweet spot, and it's saying we're in a downtrend. If you want to make the picture larger, you can click the enlarge button. It'll give you a little bit more detail, so you can kind of adjust the trading view chart and see what's going on. But it's saying here's a good zone. It's in the sweet spot. Now, for those of you who have been around a while and are in these sessions, yeah, so this is the enlarged version. I could probably make it a little bit bigger though, or get it larger. I don't know if that was that much bigger. What you can also do is on these horizontal and vertical bars is, see how my cursor turns into the arrows, as you can kind of expand it, and that will allow you to zoom in. But let me know. I'm also kind of wanting you guys here's feedback of, hey, I really like this, or I don't like this, because I built this based on feedback from you guys over the past couple months of what you were looking for. A couple of us did mention, hey, my pre-market routine is kind of choppy. I don't really know where to start or what to look for. This is your starting point. right? You're going to get this every single day at 8 a.m. Eastern, and you're going to have a visual of what are the top 10 products that are trending right now. So this is going to be part of your pre-market routine moving forward. But yeah, to enlarge it, just click that and you can kind of zoom in a little bit. So we'll set up an S&P trade first. So here's our sweet spot. Now, for those of us who've been around a minute, can you guys explain what the sweet spot is to those of us who are new here? Only if you're comfortable. What is the sweet spot and what makes it a good selling area? Right? Why am I bringing up this range here to look for a short trade? Can anyone kind of describe that? There we go. Yeah, in general terms, thank you, Deb. Obvious pivots and controlling breakout pivots. What that means, as Deb is mentioning, is it's finding where the strongest zones are and the strongest areas where the buyers and sellers are in control, right? That's how we find trade opportunities. So what it's doing is it's identifying this as a very strong vertical move up where the buyers are, and price comes all the way up to this point, and then we have a strong vertical move down. These kind of reactions back and forth isolate an area on the price charts that can be challenging to read on our own, but this coding is going to be able to pull where we have the strongest pivots, where we have the strongest reactions, breaking something to the left, and then getting that reversal ultimately gives us our sweet spot of where, as we can see, when we form this, you can take that as a breakout trade, keep your risk within your risk management, and you'll get a nice run from there. Let's see, you've broken before that low. Yes, need to look above. Exactly, right? So it's really bringing in major pivot points. It's bringing in the steepness of the pivot points. So it's bringing in a lot of actual coding on the background to pick this chart over other charts to help us gauge where the selling strength is the most strongest. So it's isolating this area between 75.83 and 75.49. It has this continuation doji zone at 75.60. These are all live charts. So let's come over to S&P and we'll set this one up. I'm going to do MES for today just because the markets are choppy with the holiday. I'm going to stick to micros and come down to a 15-minute. Okay. So let me double check. I'm going to bring this over and just make sure I'm getting what it's seeing. So it's S&P 15-minute and zooming in. 5. I wonder if this isn't pulling. So let me see. I need to check out this. It's saying the current price 75.36, but it could be because the markets are closed. I'm not sure if TradingView is actually pulling up the live futures charts, but let me see here. Give me 1 second. So here's the sweet spot that it's isolating from this high to the low. And the zone that it's pulling is going to be this doji zone here. And we can see that's the zone that's currently holding. So I think the data is not running because of the holiday. But yeah, we're there right now. So this would be one I would set up. Let's see. And as you go through this, so here's the zone it's identifying. You still want to assess it. Okay, perfect. Thanks, Michael. You still want to assess it on your own. You know, assess this zone right. Here's the whole sweet spot area that it's pulling. Is this really the zone that we want to choose? Bring in some other odds enhancers. So for example, this zone, I would say this one's good and it is working. What it looks like as far as the zone that seems stronger, I would say this one had a decent move down. this one had a larger move down and this one had the biggest move down. I would say maybe more up here or this pivot could be the zone. So I would say this is probably the zone that's really the one that's holding, and we're leaving right now. Since that zone has been tested and we're already leaving it, what I'm going to do is I'm going to choose the zone up at the origin instead. Since that one is still fresh, it's in our sweet spot, it correlates with the trend. But again, if we had this scan at 8 a.m. Eastern, then that's when you would set that up. Just since we've already come back to that zone now. Yep, exactly. In the sim account, since we've already come back there, I'm going to choose the zone up at the top. And looking for a 2-candle flip, there's a lot of candles up here, so I'm just going to turn the time frame up to, let's see, we're on a 15-minute. I'm going to come up to let's do a 1 hour. If I turn the time frame up, that should consolidate into a zone. A little bit too few of candles. Let me come to a 30-minute, actually. I think that was a little bit too high. What I'm looking for is a 2-candle flip in that area. Perfect. All right. So we found the sweet spot from the scanner. Here's our 2-candle flip, which is isolated like this. It's currently a fresh zone, which is what I'm looking for, the lower one we're currently in and holding. So we'll see how that one still ends up panning out. And then as far as the risk on this zone, we're looking at 7583.5 minus 7570.25, 13-point zone. What is the dollar value of each point on the micro S&P? Who can tell me that? 13.25 points times, thank you, Terry, $5 a point is going to be 1/10 of the S&P. Perfect. So we're going to be looking at, thank you, Abhinav, 66.25. And then to set this one up, sell custom with stop, 7570.25. Stop price 7583.5. Confirm and send, taking 1 micro, sending that out there. So again, what's great about the scanner is that it was able to pull this ahead of time. So you would have gotten this technically about an hour and a half ago. Seen this setup, you can take that momentum breakout trade to the downside, or if you're not a big breakout trader, those, as we know, can be a little bit choppier. If they pull back against us, then you can come over and take the zone, which is what we're doing here. We just want to keep our zone within that sweet spot. Any questions on the products or kind of what I'm going through? Is it, especially for the new students, anything that you guys have questions on, or questions, comments? See above, and that zone's going to be right there. So above current price. Yeah, I'm excited for you guys to see it. And again, why I created this is because the feedback I was getting from a lot of us was, I'm starting my pre-market routine and I don't really know where to start. I'm kind of just picking random charts. I don't know what to look at. Well, now you have something that will create the sweet spot for you. And what I'll do is I'll share with you how you're going to get these emails. So what I'm going to do is, since it's in my account, it says send me a test. But what this is going to do is, if I click this email, I'll show you how it looks. So it's going to send it to my email, tradingcoach@KaitTrades.com. You might have heard that little ding, which is the email that I got. And I'll bring that over. And here's what your 8 a.m. email will look like. So you're going to get this, Kait's Daily Future Scan, 10 setups. You're going to see the top 10 products. You're going to see the direction, which I've been looking over the past couple of days. There are long opportunities that get pulled. Trust me, it's not always just going to be a ton of shorts. It's just the markets today with the holiday. We're just pulling back and a little bit more volatility, so that's to be expected. It gives you the direction, it gives you the zone. You know, on S&P, it found that 15-minute continuation doji. It tells you the range for the sweet spot. What I would also say is, if you can take the sweet spot as a zone itself, you can actually do that, depending on the product that you're looking at, because the sweet spot is really the area where the selling strength is the strongest, or the buying strength. So if you can take really just this whole area as a zone and it fits your risk, you can do that as well. This is totally up to you guys, how you trade, your preferences. You can find a zone in the sweet spot. You can really take a breakout of the sweet spot. You can put your risk up here. And I just want to kind of see, what would the risk on that entire sweet spot be? 75.83 to 75.49, 34 points. So that's not even that bad, right? On one micro contract, even though it looks pretty large here, on a 15-minute chart, it's not going to be that bad. Really, that whole sweet spot, if you just took a breakout trade, you're risking 170 by putting your stop up to that point. Let's see, Mark's question is, oh, great question. Is the MES trade a short-term trade? Yes, so it's pulling it day by day. And since these are the low time frames, this is going to be more of a trade that you would want to look for the day. What tends to happen with these scans is sometimes if it is a good trending trade, you may see a chart get pulled on, well, tomorrow's Saturday, but say today was Monday and we were trending, or the setup was still there, it'll bring up that same setup again. So it's a short-term trade, meaning it's pulling it for the day, but sometimes you'll see the chart kind of roll over into the next day and it'll say, hey, still look at that short trade, if it's still the most current sweet spot that it's generating. So yeah, these are really daily trades. What I'm going to work on is some swing trading type of scans as well, where it'll be able to identify the sweet spot on like a daily chart or weekly chart. Just for these ones, I wanted to bring in kind of the lower time frames, since a lot of us deal with the 1 hour, 15-minute. Yeah, that'll be next. That should come. Let me see. Today's Friday. That can get, I think, launched. The swing trading one is almost done. That one should come out, I would say, probably Monday or Tuesday of next week. So I'll keep you guys in the loop there. But yeah, so here's the email you get every morning. View all the charts. So then it has your breakdown. You can quickly look at it in your email or on your phone, view all charts, and then it brings up everything here for you guys. And then again, what's really cool, at first I didn't know if we needed this, the run scan now, but I'm going to keep it for you guys so that if you want to rerun it, you can do it again and it'll refresh the data and pick the top 10 maybe midday, right in the afternoon. If you want to rerun it, if the markets are changing, you can rerun the scan and see what then the next top setups are going to be. So that's S&P. Let's grab one more. Let's see. Stops and targets. Great question, Ken. So how you would do that? Yes. So let's see. Let me come over to another chart and I'll illustrate that. Let me find one. So here's Canadian dollar. It found, let's see, I think, no, that's not the sweet spot here. Let's see. I don't want to grab another, I don't want to do another equity index. Let's do this one. This one's nice and tight. Swiss franc. So here's the sweet spot. It's finding a couple zones. So let me start with the question for stop prices. If you're choosing a zone that it pulls, so zooming in, it's finding this 2-candle flip. Your entry would be at the low of this candle, and your stop price would be at the high. So stops are based on the zones, entry and stop, and then you would pull it over to your real chart on the 15-minute to find the entry and stop. If you're using this zone up here, the entry would be the bottom red line. Why there's 3 lines here is because it's seeing that there's 2 different setups. There's a two candle flip here. There's an activated doji, strong move away. So that's why there's 3 lines there. But yeah, your entry is the bottom line and your stop would be the top line. If you are taking a breakout trade and you can use the full sweet spot, right? If you took a breakout trade here as that sweet spot was formed, technically you could put your stop up here, right? It's a little bit flexible in how you use it. I would say most of us will probably use zones. Like here's one that worked out. Look at this. Short, 15-minute, Australian dollar, continuation doji. This was also a 2 candle flip, one that the program found. Here was a trade opportunity here. It's within the sweet spot. That trade is working. So your entry would go there and your stop price would go to the high of that candle. Great question. As far as targets, not yet. I would say the target is really going to be getting into a trade and staying until the end of the day. Targets would be a little, yeah, not yet, Ken. Good question though, but it does have stops. Again, this is more of a momentum trade. Kind of, I would trail your stop down to lock in profit as it's moving your direction, as opposed to setting a target per se. But you could set a target, when it gets to a certain price. Like on this one, we've had let's see, a 1-to-1, almost a 3-to-1 move. If you're, looking for a 3-to-1 move, you could set a target there. A little bit flexible in that sense. Here's another one, sweet spot. Here's where your zones would be, or we did that one already. Yep. Great question. All right, let's see if there's one that we can do. Let's see, let me bring up Swiss franc. So there's the sweet spot on a 15-minute. We'll set up a trade here. Swiss franc, 15-minute. Again, I think I need to make sure that it's live. That should just be turning it on, but I think it might be behind because just because the markets are closed today. I think that is why, but usually it's running fine. Let's see, Swiss franc. There's our sweet spot there. So let me find that 1.25. Here we go. So it pulled this sweet spot here. Again, you could take the full sweet spot, right? Here's where it entered that area. We can see it's leaving. You could put your stop up here at 1.25560, and you would be in on that trade and it would be working. If price comes a little bit deeper, we can look for a zone up here. What I'm not loving, and you can bring in, your own analysis and odds enhancers that you guys look for too, if it helps, is, I'm looking at volume. Not really high volume in this area. So for me, maybe this one, I could have gone in here, taken it to the downside. If I'm looking for a zone trade, I'm not a huge fan of these little overnight zones. So let me come back to the scan and let's see if there's another one that looks good. Let's see. Soybean oil. That's kind of sideways. Let's see, soybean oil seems decent. It looks like it found a zone here that got pretty close, and now we have a 2 candle flip there. So I'm going to do soybean oil, ZL. Let's bring that one up. And this one's on a 1-hour time frame, downtrend, short. Right, so everything is there. Here's our sweet spot. Soybean oil has been a little bit more volatile lately. Let's see. And let's see, that sweet spot would be, oops, it's this page. 67.52 to 73. That is, let me grab a different one. Yeah, I think with the markets being closed, today's a tricky day, right? Today, technically, we shouldn't be trading too much. Let me grab the NASDAQ. I think that one should be all right. Oh yeah, it's not even, that's why. So futures, right? some of these products aren't going to really be trading today. NASDAQ is. Let me clean this off. And we'll do another equity index. Let's see. So for NASDAQ, let me close that page. We're looking at the sweet spot 30,645 to 30,783. That is, I think, over there. Yes. Hey, nice job, Michael. There you go. There's a sweet spot. So again, it's finding based on the coding in the background the strongest sweet spots. Here's another trade that's already working, right? We're trying to get in, but the zone that I would take is, you guys tell me. I'm gonna see if we know this. If this is my sweet spot and I wanted to isolate a zone in that area, which setup seems stronger, this wick over wick reversal zone or the activated doji zone? Which zone seems stronger? Yeah, I'm liking the doji too. Nice job, Deb, Dan. Yeah, doji for sure, right? If I'm looking at volume as price leaves that doji, huge volume spike. It's in our sweet spot. You can bring in, again, make this your own, right? It takes out support, strong move down, high volume. Here's the zone that's working. Maybe we could come deeper into that zone. You could do that. So let's set up that one. Let's see what I'll do. Let's see. So the doji's already been tested. We could look for a deeper entry. Let me kind of consolidate this area. I'm going to come up to a 4-hour and just see if it turns into maybe a larger 2-candle flip. Yeah, there we go. You can, adjust the time frame as you need. So here's a 2-candle flip. What I'm going to do is set the order up for micro NASDAQ on this 2-candle flip zone. Price coming deeper into it. Strong move down. Let's see, the risk on that would be 3983.75 minus 3808.5, 175 points. What's the point value of MNQ? Perfect. 10% of the normal price. I should Michael on $2. So that's going to be a $350 zone. NASDAQ is one of those products that's a little bit more expensive than some of the others for our zone. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to bring it up to the close of the candle to make it a little smaller on that 2-candle flip. But this would be one, again, assess the risk, understand the product you're trading. I'm going to set this one up though. Again, in sim, I would say today's not the best day for live trading, right? If you've come in late, today's Juneteenth, stock market is closed. A lot of other products are not trading, or the spreads are a bit larger too. So we just don't want to be over trading on days like this. Sell custom with stop, but it's to illustrate how the daily scanners work. 30 sell limit would be 3827.75. Stop price would be 3983.75. We'll send that out there. All right. So that's how you would set up your morning, right? If you need something to give you an idea of what's trending, what the top 10 products are, if you find yourself kind of going in circles, not really knowing what to look at, this would be kind of your starting point where you open up your charts, you bring up your daily future scan, which you get in the email here. And it gives you, see, as I did the rescan, it sent me more emails to update that. So if you ever, I think, want to rescan it throughout the day, it'll send you an email and give you kind of that updated list of which ones have the better scores. You can see here, when I ran that stock scan, Here's the top setups for today, but obviously we're not going to be doing stocks because stocks are not trading today. So these could be setups maybe for Monday, but on Monday you'll get a new scan anyways. All right, so we've set up our morning. We're good about that. We have a short trade on MNQ and the S&P. Now, let's say let me come out of my email, back over here. Let's say the product that we're looking at is not on this list, right? So let's say we're looking at futures and here's the top 10 list, but maybe these products aren't the ones I look at, right? Maybe it's a different product, or maybe I'm looking at stocks and here's the top 10 list that it's pulling, but my favorite stock is not on there, right? Maybe we don't want to be limited to these 10. It's completely up to you guys. We all have our favorite stock picks or futures picks. So for that, that is going to be on one of the other tabs here. So we started on the trade picks. This is our kind of morning, hey, what's hot, what's going on right now? Here's the top picks. What you'll also have access to is under trade tools is a live trade scanner. This will allow you to put in the product or ticker that you're looking at and assess, is it time to buy or sell? And it's going to give you a breakdown based upon pretty much the analytics that it's doing in the daily trade scan, where it's giving you those daily morning emails. This one will give you kind of that same analysis breakdown. So someone tell me a ticker or product that they like to look at. It can be anyone. And then tell me if it's one that you're looking to go long or short and what time frame you're looking at. Platform I use is Thinkorswim here. The platform that the charts are pulling from here is going to be TradingView, but yeah, I use Thinkorswim. Anyone have a ticker that they want to look at? I'm happy to bring up a random one, and it could be a stock, right? I mean, the markets are closed, but just to illustrate. All right, Sharon says SMH. So I'm going to bring that up over here too. Is this the right one, Sharon? And I see Sharon's comment is a private one, but Sharon mentioned SMH. Is this right? The semiconductor stock or ETF? Okay, perfect. So here's one that Sharon and Steve are looking at, SMH. Looking at this, let's understand, is it time to buy, is it time to sell? And are you looking to go long or short? TradeStation, yeah. TradeStation I've heard good things about too. A lot of the students in class use it. All right, so let's see what it says. So looking to go long. And if you're able to see, Sharon, where it says, or Steve, in the comments, it says to hosts and panelists, if possible. If you see that and you're able to click that and change it to everyone, then everyone can see your comment. But let's see, SMH, looking to go long. And what time frame do you typically look at? And then we'll do Tesla next. Thanks, Ken. All right. So SMH, looking to go long, 1 hour time frame. What you can also do is upload a screenshot. So I've done this a couple times. It's able to a certain extent to be able to read your chart. So if you have a marked up chart that you want to upload and put in here, I would just say the more that you annotate it and say, here's my zone, trade opportunity, 2-candle flip or zone or uptrend, things like that, it can actually kind of pick up on those details. But for right now, we'll do SMH long, 1 hour, and then run the trade scan. Now it's going to start pulling the live structure, analyzing what's going on with SMH, and it's going to spit out, is this the good time to go long on a 1 hour chart or not? So before you take any trades, you can also kind of put your stock or futures product into the scanner, and it'll give you an idea of, okay, is it the right time to buy? And it's going to give you a breakdown based upon, again, the analysis that the daily trade picks as well. Let's see. Scanning. All right, so not great. So it's saying to watch it. There is a 2 candle flip setup and then medium confidence. So with the trend, but no valid sweet spot. So you guys all know what the sweet spot is now. So what it's reading now is the specific data on SMH, and it's saying, hey, there's no sweet spot, which is from what we saw in the trade picks, those areas where we want to buy or sell, and in this case, buy. No sweet spot, wait for a clean 2 candle flip retest, don't force it. So it's saying, hey, there's no sweet spot yet based upon the coding in the background. It is a trend trade, so if you do want to go long, wait for a pullback to a 2 candle flip. Let's see, so uptrend on the 1 hour, longs are with trend, but structure is compromised by a fake controlling breakout pivot. So it's, again, kind of reading what's going on in the background. It's going to bring a very detailed analysis of the swings, the pivot points. It's reading which ones are strongest because ultimately it's trying to find that sweet spot. And it's saying that there isn't one. So that's important detail. What we would want to see is this to say, hey, there is a sweet spot. And then if it does, then we can look for the zone. Controlling breakout pivots are how we find the sweet spot. So it gives you a great analysis of everything, almost too much information, but for those of us who are interested in all the details, here's a broken zone, fresh zone. So let's see this one. This one has a fresh zone at 100.77. That's not going to be right. What is this? Again, I think with the, I just need to check on this for today. I think, again, the numbers are just messed up with the markets being closed, right? We're running a SMH, but it's not actually moving today. Let me see. But if you come down, the other thing that you'll do here is once you have your trade scanned, what you'll do is you can actually save it to your journal, and it's going to start kind of an ongoing list of the trades that you're looking at. So if this is one that you want to keep an eye on, you're going to go over to your journal, and you can see up here it says your trade journal. Click on that. Here's a couple other ones that I was pulling in, and here's SMH here. Oops. Again, some of the issues are just with the markets, but I'll double check everything too. It's going to pull it into your trade journal, and then you'll be able to see all those details there. So pretty cool. Let's see what else. That's going to be the scanner. Let's try Tesla. TSLA, 30-minute. And Ken, are you looking long on the on Tesla? Let's see, 30-minute. I don't have it on here. I can get that added though. Let's do 1 hour. Are you looking long on Tesla, Ken? Let's see. Let me put it in for a second. TSLA daily. Kind of sideways, but I mean, overall pretty good product, right? So let me try long. Yeah, Tesla long 1 hour, and then again, it's gonna scan it live. You can upload your screenshot here, and then let's see. So kind of the approach that I would recommend is you start with your daily trade picks, stocks, futures, forex, run that. It gives you your top 10 to look at. You can quickly isolate your sweet spots, find trades in that area, move on. If you want to look at other products and tickers that it may not be pulling, that's when you come over to the scanner, you type it in here, and it's going to start analyzing the live structure. So here's Tesla. Again, this is going to be not the live chart because the market's being closed, but here it's analyzing the 1 hour. Let's see. So it's being able to see that we're currently in more of a downtrend right now. We're getting a little bit of a bump here up on the daily, but you're fighting a downtrend. it hasn't found that sweet spot yet. So this would also be one to skip. And you can continue to, look at Tesla, maybe tomorrow rerun it. And if we do start to turn back around, it's going to find that sweet spot for you. But for right now, it's saying, hey, there's no sweet spot. We're not at a good place to buy. So skip the trade, right? Medium confidence. And then your breakdown is going to be below where it has, a counter trend warning. Here's your pivots, things like that. So that's what you would do throughout the day. And then kind of just check your charts here, see where we're at, update it, everything going on. So let's see. And then there's one other thing that I've added here under trade tools. Let's say you've done all of your analysis and you took a trade and it got stopped out, or maybe it did work. What you can also do is come to the trade grader. That's going to be this page here, and it's going to give you a grade on the trade that you took and be able to tell you, hey, this is why it worked. Here's why it didn't work. This one, you do need to upload a chart. So I'm going to bring up on my other screen one that I've annotated. Let's see. So we had a gold trade yesterday in the live trading room, or 2 days ago. That worked out for a short period. Let me bring that up. And I want to see what this product says. So here was one chart that I put out there, 2 candle flip. Here was where we bought in the live trading room. That was our zone at the gap. But as we can see today, gold is coming much further down. So here was the trade opportunity that we had over to the left. It worked out for a short-term move, and then it came down further. So let's say I wanted to get a deeper analysis of that trade, or what you can also do is do a trade that you haven't yet taken. You can do one or the other. This one, you could do a successful trade, or let me see if there's a chart where, let's see. Here's one where I have a zone on crude oil that's open. You can put either one in there. You can have it grade pending zones and give you some feedback on, hey, is this a good zone or not to take, or trades that have worked out or not, and then also give you feedback. So let's say, what I'll do here is I'll say I want to assess this oil trade that I'm looking at. So what I'm going to do here is, give me one sec. I'm going to, all right, so I uploaded the chart here just from my computer. This is crude oil, and it's a short trade. And here's a zone that I'm looking at. I want to analyze this trade and see if this is a zone that I would actually want to take or not. So it's going to actually read your chart and your analysis, and it's going to tell you, okay, here's the rating. Is this a good zone to take? Why or why not? You can do this with your completed charts if you just want feedback, kind of like in the coaching sessions, things like that. Let's see. Thank you, Alonso. I lost the chat for a second. Yeah, Ken says, what's the sweet spot? I don't understand how it finds it. Thank you, Alonso. Yes, sweet spot is the area where we will identify our entry for long or short. Exactly. Yes, sweet spot is that range of where we look for our trade opportunities. It's the strongest area of buying and selling. Let's see. Does it tell you when trade setups are no longer valid for any reason? It would, let's see. You say no longer valid. I'm trying to think about that one. On this one here, no longer valid. Well, like the daily trade picks, let me think about that for a second. Maybe not necessarily no longer valid, but imagine you got your trade picks and it had gold to go short. Like what you would want to do is, I think, rerun the scan or check your next email. Because then if the trend changes, there's some announcement on gold and it's starting to rally. if you run the scan again, or when you get that next email, it may tell you, hey, look for a long trade today. You just want to trade with, I would say, the most current analysis. So does it tell you when trade steps are no longer valid? Not technically that, but it'll tell you when you rerun the scan or re-input your trades in here, what the current setup is. Yeah, great question. Or yeah, and good feedback too. That's something, thinking about how that would work. Yeah, right now I would say you would just put the trade back in, right? When you get your daily picks, check to see if it's still on the list. Has the trend changed on it? Has it given it if it was long before, is it now short? You can use the scanner to see what the setup is, because maybe that's changed, and the grader as well. Another great question. Demetrio says, will your control and breakout pivot change during the trading day? It may. I would say on the daily picks and everything you put in, it should really be the same, right? So a lot of these trades, since it's pulling 15-minute and 1 hour, it's going to pull a strong enough control and breakout pivot where you don't need to worry about it changing during the day. Could it? Yes. I would just say unlikely. If anything, it might, if price, say, gets further and further away from your one sweet spot, maybe a new sweet spot gets formed, and it gives you an area closer to current price. But I wouldn't really say change in that, it's taken out or becomes invalidated. These should be trades for the day that you take that day in the morning, before the markets open, and they last ideally till the end of the day, because it is basing it upon trend, the grading. So I would say, could it change? Yes, but it's not going to be as likely, because these are meant to be day trades. Yeah, great question though. That would be more if like these scans were on like 1-minute charts, then I would say it could change, but 15-minute and 1 hour is a high enough time frame where it should be fine throughout the trading day. Yeah, great question. So like on this crude oil trade, I wanted to scan it to see, okay, is this a good zone that I want to take here? And it's giving it a B. So it's saying you're selling into a confirmed downtrend after a sharp, fast break. That's the right directional read. Let's see, what's dragging the grade down is the zone selection. So it's saying the pink box is not the true controlling breakout pivot or sweet spot, and the setup isn't clearly pinned to the strongest pivot. So it's looking at where the strongest pivots are in this area. It's giving you kind of a general area and saying, all right, you're with the trend, which is good. It's giving you some feedback on the controlling breakout pivots, where they are. It's breaking it down, kind of reading it here. It's saying medium confidence. Gives you some more detail on the sweet spot, the control and breakout pivot. When we break above a strong control and breakout pivot, right? So that's what gives us our sweet spot, where we look for trade opportunities. So it gives some nice visuals too. Advanced review. Let's see. Improvements. So a lot of details here, right? And then again, with this, you can also save to your journal. Come up, go to your trade journal, and now this one is here as well. So you can see the rating that it's been given, B or D. Click on the drop down, and it should give you, here we go. So this one's showing it since it's a futures product that's currently moving, but here's your chart. You can click on that to see what you did. Why is it giving it the rating, the breakdown, all that good stuff. So a lot of analysis here and a lot of resources for you guys. The general flow that I would say is you start with, again, your daily trade picks. Pick the one that you want to look at. So stocks, maybe I want to rerun my scan. It'll send you a new email. It'll pull the top 10 charts. Again, we're not doing stocks today. That's how you start your morning. Then for additional charts that are not part of your daily picks list, the top 10, you would come over to the trade tools and go to the scanner. The scanner here, and you can go to the website and try it out first. Type your ticker in here, say if you're going long or short. Pick the time frame that you're looking at, kind of one of these time frames here. Let's say a 1 minute chart of the Russell. I'm looking to go short. Maybe this wasn't on the daily picks list, and then it'll analyze it over here and tell you, okay, yes, go short. Here's the sweet spot, or no, don't go short. No sweet spot, things like that. So that'll be here. And then to kind of, I would say, throughout maybe midday towards the end of the day, that's when you want to start using your trade grader to make sure, okay, the zones you have set up, are they correlated with the current trend? This gives you a good kind of immediate analysis where you could have a trade, throw it into the trade grader, and it says, hey, this is a D rating. I'm going to pull that trade and not set it up, right? So it's kind of like another voice that gives you feedback to say take the trade or not. Like in this case, Russell to go short. Russell, it's seeing that it's fighting a fresh upside controlling breakout pivot. So maybe you'd want to go long on Russell. Let me change it to long and see what that says on a 1 minute. Right, use it to your advantage, kind of make the most out of it. If you want your trades graded, right, to see that feedback, that can be good midday, throughout the end of the day. Even as the markets are closing, you know, put your chart in the trade grader, have it read your setup, and if it says, yeah, this is a good trade, then maybe you can put it on the next day. But if it says, hey, the trend has changed or there's a new sweet spot, then you would want to probably pull that trade. So let's see. So Russell, it's saying don't go long or short, which is interesting. Let me come over to the Russell. Yeah, Russell, you can see how sideways it is. So it's seeing that there's not really a good trend, right? Going long or short, probably not a product that I would trade anyways, unless we're just trying to get really short-term trades. But overall, the trend's not there. So that's what it's picking up on is no real good setup, medium confidence, trend analysis, right? Here we go. Ranging, range market with a fresh downside control and breakout pivot. Your long fights the break. So it's seeing, hey, we're range bound right now. If you don't believe it, here's Russell. It very much is range bound. So these are all the different products that I want to share with you guys. You can try them out, right? I think you can try out the scanner and the trade grader on the website. Just come under trade tools and, you know, put in your charts, go to the scanner, take a look at it and see, you know, is this something that I want to implement in my daily trade routine? And then you can kind of see all the information that it gives you. But it's a great resource in conjunction with like the live trading room. And we'll start implementing this during live trading. So we have these sessions 5 days a week now, Monday and Wednesday and Friday from 9 to 10 a.m. Eastern is the live trading room. The pre-market room is a new set of classes that we've added on Tuesdays and Thursdays, which has been a nice addition. So in the pre-market room, what I would like to see, and for those of you who are part of the pre-market room, is I would like to start bringing in kind of those daily trade picks since you guys will get the emails at 8 a.m. Eastern, and bring those in so that we can set it up prior to the live trading room. Let's see what else. Let's go over one more product. Any requests as far as chart you guys are looking at? I would say probably a futures chart just to kind of stick with the markets being a little bit more probable for trades. But any other futures charts you guys are looking at? All right, you got it, Alonso. Wheat, it is ZW. And let's see. And what I can do here is if I don't want to just analyze it on my own, I could come to a daily, get an idea of what direction the trend is in, what I'm looking to do. We're getting a little bit of a pullback today. I see we have a higher low from over here. So bullish, we're coming up, but are we coming up into a sweet spot? Should I be looking to go long or short? Let's come down to a 1 hour. And what's your general bias on wheat right now? Should we be bullish, bearish, or mixed? We're not sure. What you could do is come over to, I'm not sure if this one was in our scanner. Yeah, kind of mixed. We're rallying, but that seems like a pretty big downtrend that broke this pivot to the left. Hey, Greg. Oh, no worries. Got it. Yeah, the product scans. So I'll show you that now. So that's going to be this here. Let's see, what's the wheat on here? Let's see, S&P, Dow, soybeans was, so I don't think, so wheat wasn't one of the top picks. Let's see, let me come over to the scanner and let's try wheat here. Wheat, it is kind of mixed. Let me see what it says from a high time frame perspective. Let's see, daily, long, and you could, change it from daily. You could type in 1 hour. Yeah, good question, Paul. Sweet spot the same as a demand or supply zone? To an extent, yeah. It's like it's kind of like a larger supply or demand zone. You can use it as supply and demand. Because yes, it's where the strongest buying and selling is. It's kind of a general area. So yes, and then for those of us who want to make our zones smaller, you can find really the supply and demand zones inside the sweet spot, or you can use the sweet spot on its own as a demand or supply zone. So let's see here, like wheat, valid sweet spot. Okay, so this is good. We're somewhere. See, so the scanner has been able to identify the sweet spot. That tells us that we want to look for a long trade, which lines up with where we're at now. Valid sweet spot and continuation doji inside. Okay, so that's helpful, right? It's finding this doji, had a strong breakout, but a fresh opposing control and breakout pivot flips this into a counter trend long, wait for low time frame confirmation. So what this would tell me is, hey, here's the sweet spot. The sweet spot is going to be in between your two arrows. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, the assists are super helpful, right? Because if you come to a chart and you start wanting to map out the sweet spot, your zones, you may not be 100% confident yet, right? There's a lot of factors that go into it. Yes. So Michael's question is this your proprietary scan? Yeah. So it's finding the sweet spots based on different factors that go into it, which what it brings in is the steepness of the moves. It brings in taking out pivot points. It looks at what the pivot points are taking out to the left. There's a lot of analysis that we try to do on our own, but what this does, it really does all that for you. So it's going to tell you where the strong sweet spots are. Yeah, so here, sweet spot, our scanner has identified that. It's found an activated doji within the sweet spot, but it's saying, hey, we are pulling back from something. Maybe take a low time frame confirmation. Perfect. If I want to see some other details on what it's bringing in, counter trend warning, wait for price to take out an opposing control and breakout pivot. So it's pulling this doji. Here it is. I could look for a zone inside that doji because it's within our sweet spot that it isolated, which was over here. So I can look to go long, and this is going to be a higher probability trade. If you want to come down and isolate the zone within that doji, you can absolutely do that. So just looking at this, the zone I would want to take, here's the doji. Let's see. We've got a 2 candle flip down here. What I like about the lower portion of that doji is just kind of bringing in my own analysis. Here we have a strong breakout to the upside. We've got a 2 candle flip here. So if I'm going to take a zone trade, I would likely choose that zone. It's within where the scanner is saying to look, within that activated doji zone. You can zoom in again to see that. What it's suggesting, which is important, it's saying look for low time frame confirmation. Can someone tell me what that means? For those of us who were in the live trading sessions, what would a low time frame confirmation look like? You could take this zone. It's saying, hey, but be careful of what we're coming into. What could confirmation look like? Price is coming down into that zone. A couple different ways we could do confirmation is take it as price is leaving that zone, right above 588.76, or what it means by really confirmation is once we break a controlling breakout pivot to the upside, that confirms that the buyers are back in control. So you could take the zone, it's saying you can. It is fighting this downtrend a little bit. Lower time frame confirmation would make sense. So maybe you want to set an alert for when we come into that zone. Then you could say once price breaks above whatever control and breakout pivot is formed here, then that's your confirmation to go long. If you want to bring in, sometimes we bring in our Fibonacci retracement lines, some ones that we look at day to day in the live trading room and in the pre-market are 50 and 75% retracements. If those line up with your zones, those can be great odds enhancers. And just pulling from swing to swing, here's the 75%, which is really targeting maybe this lower pivot down here. So 50% is kind of in this area where we were looking for a zone right about here. And then the 75% would be a zone down here. You can use your odds enhancers to left to choose which zone to take. So in this case here, that 50% would be really where the 2 candle flip is. I am also, now as I'm looking at it again, this did have a really strong reaction off of this pivot down here. So maybe I want to switch it to the zone at the origin. Let's see if I can turn that pivot into a 2 candle flip. I'm going to go up to a higher time frame. What do we call this zone at the bottom? That is a nice job, Deb. Double-sided breakout, meaning we've got a candle. The next candle breaks below that candle and also breaks above. So there's 2 breakouts happening. That's our double-sided breakout. And it's also a wick over wick reversal. Nice job, Sharon, Steve. Because we've got 2 red candles coming down. This candle broke above the high of that candle. So that's the zone that I would take. It's in the kind of the lower 75% range. I like that when price came down, we got a steep rally from here. So it looks like it's probably hitting that kind of zone area. I could make it bigger to illustrate it. Let me see, from a 6 hour to an 8 hour. Keeps it like that. Let's see. 50% trend magnet. Yeah, let me see. So 50%. Let me just check my lines again. 50, 75. Yeah, 50% trend magnet candle. So what Deb's pointing out here is, see how this is a really elongated candle? A lot of times we'll find a zone in that area and it's below the 50% here. Trend magnet candle. So then that would be the other zone that I'd be looking at, which is what we initially started with. And that would be a zone like this. So we've got 2 zones, one at 591 to 582, the lower one 580 to 571. Just looking at this, these zones are getting kind of expensive for wheat since we're on a higher time frame. If I came back down to a 1 hour, might be able to make these zones a little bit smaller. Let's see, 1 hour time frame. So the lower zone, I can bring that, say this kind of basing area down here at the origin, and then that was on high volume. The zone over here, we've got some basing before the breakout that took out all that resistance. So you can make your zone smaller on the lower time frames, and that would be the trade that I would set up. So I could set this up as a zone entry, 589, buy custom with stop. If I'm looking at that activated doji zone, right? So it's going back to our analysis. Here's our sweet spot. We're looking to go long. We're inside that daily doji zone. And now I found another activated doji on a 1 hour time frame, broke all that resistance. I'm going to be looking at 589. Stop price at 583.5 and send that out there. All right. If you want to wait for confirmation, which is what it was suggesting, you could do that too. Again, because it's saying that the trend is currently down right from this move over here. We're pulling back. So if we are going to look to go long, we would want, here you go, drop to lower time frame and wait for price to take out that opposing control and breakout pivot on lower time frame for risking size. All right, I know we've gone over a little bit today. It was just a 1 hour session, but let me see. What else do I got? So we'll wrap up for today. Thank you all for being here on a holiday when the markets are closed, because I know you could have had a million other things to do. So I appreciate you being here. Let's see. Oh yeah, Greg. So you missed the first part, right? With the daily trades. Is that right? Yeah. So if you came in later, I just want to make sure that's with the scanner, this one. Okay. Yeah, the scanner, you input your own tickers on your own. And this is something you can do when you want. It helps you bring in products that you're looking at that aren't part of like the daily trade picks. You can put your products in here. Like maybe you look at silver, right? And silver is not part of the daily trade picks. Then you could come over here to silver, looking to go long, is now a good time to trade silver long. I know Greg likes silver. Come over here, see the live structure, and let's see what this says. It does take a minute to kind of analyze what's going on, the sweet spots, control and breakout pivots, all that good stuff. Let's see, scanning. Should just be one more second. All right, so it's seeing silver, daily chart, skip longs, dominant downtrend, and a fresh downside controlling breakout pivot, nullify any valid sweet spot. So what it's seeing here is that there's currently no bullish sweet spot. So going long would be not what we want to do right now. And if we come over to silver, let's see, SI, that makes sense because we are moving lower. So it's saying, hey, don't take a long trade right now. The trend is down. Therefore, we don't want to be looking for a long trade. And notice that there's no arrows here, right? It's not pulling a sweet spot because we're looking to go long and the chart's saying don't do it. But if I switch this to short, let's see what that does. Let's say I want to go short on silver. Let's see what it brings up. Should give us, I would think, a sweet spot on silver, but let's see what it says. Any questions while that's scanning? So going back to actually Greg's question, this you do on your own time to time to kind of check your own trades, what's going on. What I'll illustrate again, if you came in late, the daily trade picks are emailed to you on a daily basis, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday at 8 a.m. Eastern time every single day. So that's a guarantee to get that email and to get those top 10 picks at the same time every day. There we go. Okay, so silver. Now the arrows are on here. Now it's finding that sweet spot, so it's giving it a better score. Downtrend intact, wait to short a pullback into the 68 to 95 sweet spot. Perfect. if we were using this maybe like a week or two ago, after it generated that sweet spot, we could have put a zone there. There's looks like a little wick over wick reversal here. Came back into the sweet spot and we can see the trend is down. So this is, again, a great tool, right, to understand trend and bias. Because if you're looking to go long, it's going to tell you exactly where that sweet spot is and say, hey, look to go short in the sweet spot, which is now why the arrows are here versus when we were on the long chart, there were no arrows because the arrows only isolate the sweet spot. So keep that in mind. And now it has a zone for us that we can take a look at. Looks like this doji zone, or sorry, double-sided breakout setup. That's going to be this candle. We break above, break below. So we've got a double-sided breakout zone intact. It's got a high score. And on silver, that would be, it's pulling this over here. Yep. Right, silver is expensive. So absolutely, yeah, the one trade, which it was pulling this zone, that worked perfectly. How is this helpful? Again, it's telling you where your sweet spot is. So great tool, right? A lot of us can be kind of subjective in how our analysis is pulling the sweet spot. This is a computer doing it based on a lot of coding in the background, and it's doing all the work for you. So yeah, that trade, I don't even know how much that would be. That would be a huge return on silver if you're trading it. Now that one has been missed, it's now saying that this is the new zone that I would take. It's within our sweet spot. Bring in, again, your other odds enhancer, strong move down. So I would look for a zone in this area where it's finding that double-sided breakout. Yes, it is. Yeah, so this is live data on TradingView. Correct. You'll see up here it says live data too. So yeah, this is live. The only reason it might not be live right now, let me see. Yeah, you can see here. So the red number is the current price of silver. So 64.78. And you can see right here 64. It might be off by a couple ticks, but it is live to the best of its ability, maybe off by like a minute or so. Let me see. But yes, it should be pretty close to live. Each charting platform also kind of sometimes is a little different depending on times. But yes, you can see 64.78 is the current price. Here's the sweet spot, 64.78. Currently we're at 64.58. So it's pulling that current price. Again, I think the holiday might be messing with it a little bit, but yes. And if you do see that it says live data, it should be live from TradingView. Exactly. Yeah, the automated trading will be, so yeah, let me illustrate that because I keep getting distracted, and then I'll go over to, yeah, you bet, Ken. I'll do Microsoft after, you bet. Yeah, so the automated, hey, that might be possible. Greg and Dan, just remind me of that. Maybe in the live trading room or when we talk next week, I'm going to make some notes because I do want your guys' feedback. So if there are some changes that you want to see, or if you want, I don't know, that's kind of, maybe you could create your own lists, right? These are daily picks that are pulling the top 10 stocks, futures, and Forex, but maybe you could create your own list. Yeah, let's see, build risk. That's a good one too, Brian. I'm just going to take a note real quick of your comments because these are all great ones. Yeah, the automation. And Greg said LOL after, but hey, let me see what I can do. Yeah, and the risk building, I'm taking a note of that one too, Brian. Thanks for that. The daily trade picks are what's going to be automated for right now. So stocks, futures, or Forex. This, again, just to illustrate, is where you get your top 10 rated products based on the asset that you're looking at. So if I'm looking at stocks, here's the top 10. You can rerun the scan. It shouldn't change that much. Like here it has snow, and now you can see it's still saying those are the top 10. And then when you hit run scan, again, I'm going to come over to my email, and here's the one that's pulled up already. It should come through in a second. I wonder if they're going to my junk folder potentially. But yeah, so it's going to generate that email. And again, this is the email that you'll get automated. So every day, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, you're going to get your email depending on the scan you're looking at. Here's the future scan. It has them rated numbers 1 through 10, the product, the direction, since everything is going down now. It's pulling a lot of short trades. It's showing you where the sweet spot is, which is really, this is your key right here, is the sweet spot. And the more you, if you're new, kind of understand the sweet spot, you know, Alonso broke it down before for you guys, and Deb as well, kind of understanding what that sweet spot is, this is going to make a lot more sense. And then it's scoring it. So you obviously want to start with the highest scoring ones, work your way down. So automation, these emails every single day at 8 a.m. Eastern. You get the top picks from the morning scan ranked by setup, and then you click on view all charts, and it'll take you into this page where you can see those top 10. And then again, if you want to regenerate it during the day and just see if there's any changes, you would do run scan now. And then again at 8 a.m. Eastern, just to show I did send me a test. Here's where I should get a new email. There it is. And then you can get your email that way as well. So a couple different ways to do that, but this will be automated. You can see here for stocks, it's scanning over 100 symbols, and it's picking the top 10. So yeah, automation wise, these are going to be the top setups because it's scanning Apple, Nvidia, Tesla, SPY, AMD, and over 100 liquid stocks. So it's also bringing that in, which stocks are liquid, and it's giving you, hey, here's the top 10 setups that have the sweet spot that correlate with trend zones in those sweet spots. Here's the ones to focus on. If you want to look at other things, that's okay. That's where you're going to come over to your live scanner, like how I did with silver. Let's see, Paul says, why is the TradeStation silver figures different than TradingView? The figures, do you mean the like the tickers? I know it's different on kind of different platform, or you mean the numbers? Let me see. Let's see. It could be, again, I know I mentioned this a couple times already. It could be because of the holiday. If the numbers are off a little bit, right? It could be because look at the spread here: 64, 665, 64 to 675. So you can see the spread is widening a bit because the markets are closed. Yeah. Anyone who has TradeStation, let me see. And see TradeStation different than TradingView. Yeah, because I could even, because what is it saying on, let me see. If I come over to the futures, I look at, let's see. Yeah, again, it's because the markets are being closed. So if the prices look different, it could be because of that. Monday, everything should go back to normal. So that could be. Hey, Lon, the question is, do we go to our email or to your website? So you'll get it to your email. You can do both. What you get in the email is going to be your breakdown just to keep it easy for you. You'll get this each day at 8 a.m. Eastern on the dot, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. So this is if you want the overview. If you want to see the charts and the detailed analysis, that's when you'll go to the website to see the complete breakdown, just to keep it simplified for you guys. I wanted the email to be kind of a big picture overview, right? Here's the top 10, here's direction, here's your sweet spot, here's the scoring, you've got your zone there, that's it. And then you can kind of take a look on the go. If you're sitting down at your computer and you want to do more analysis, you'll just click on view all charts, and then it'll give you a more in-depth description. You can even see you've got the chart here. You can enlarge the chart. You can expand it if you want to kind of see what's going on, get some more detail. It shows that there's two ways to trade this, really momentum, right? Once this sweet spot was identified, again, you can take a breakout trade here at 75.49 and you'd be up on the day on a lot of these different products. Or you can wait for the pullback into the zones in those areas. It also gives you an idea of how it's analyzing the pivots, the steepness, the sweet spot, things of that sort. All right, so that is everything. Thanks, Patrick. Again, any feedback you guys have or things you want to see, even if it seems like it's not feasible. I know the automation, that is something that we're able to get with the daily trade picks, but try these out, test them, see what you like, get used to using these products. And then for everyone for being here, I know I've gone over quite a bit of time. If you click on the Friday specials, this page is going to be here for the next 3 days. So for everyone who's in the room here, I'm going to be giving you guys discounts on pretty much everything compared to when this ultimately goes live for the regular pricing. So I would take advantage of what you have here. As far as this is for new students only. If you're not part of the live trading room, I am giving new students a discount off the first month. So if you want 5 days a week, Monday through Friday, instead of $224, it's $159. The live trading room is kind of our standard room, Monday, Wednesday, Friday from 9 to 10, $89 for the first month. And then the pre-market room, which is the newest one, $69 for the first month there. And this is for new students to get acclimated to the live trading room. We'll be implementing some of these products. So I'll show you how they work, what to look for. So you'll be able to interact with me and the other students as we use these, find some trade opportunities, set them up. So that's all going to be, again, for new students. And then for everyone else, so what I wanted to do here with the daily scans, where you get your email at 8 a.m. Eastern, is for, again, the next 3 days, having it as just $99 a month for each of the scans. Stocks, futures, Forex, you can choose one or two or all three, depending on which assets you look at. What I also wanted to do is give an option to incorporate coaching so that I can give you kind of tips of what to look for, go into more detail on how the sweet spot is formed, what to look for, how to build this into your pre-market routine, things like that. So what I wanted to do is kind of combine this with 3 coaching sessions. That should really be enough to kind of get you off on the right foot. 3 coaching sessions and bundling it for only $249. And then for those coaching sessions, you'll get unlimited access to the scanner. So unlimited scanning, you can scan as much as you want, go crazy. You'll get all the emails every day. So the best value is going to be this one, because I'm going to tell you kind of what to look for too, and different tricks and tips for running the scans throughout the day, how to see the top 10, things like that, and just how to read the price charts a little bit more. You guys have a general view from today's session. But this is going to be the biggest bang. And again, this is only for the next 3 days. So if you do want to take advantage of that, that would be the best offer. For the other resources, yes, this will all be on the website. So this Friday specials page is the one where you're going to get all the discounts and specials going on that I mentioned in the email you guys got. For the scanner and grader, for the scanner, where you can scan all your favorite products, you can do however many scans you want, any ticker. It's going to find, as you saw, those sweet spots. It's going to map out with the arrows the sweet spots. So if you have different tickers that you look at that may not be coming through the daily picks, maybe you have some other products that aren't really coming up, then you would use the scanner, input your ticker there. It'll show you if there's a sweet spot. Maybe you input like a short trade first, there's no sweet spot, then I would just switch it, then change it to long. Maybe it comes up with a sweet spot then, right? Use it both ways, see what trend is and use that to your advantage. So that's the scanner. The trade grader, you input a chart. It can be a zone that you've taken or a trade that you are wondering, is this a trade I should be taking? You put it into the grader. It gives you that rating, and it gives you a breakdown of what worked well. Here this image shows clean trend aligned. It's a B and not an A and then it gives you kind of more details there. Both of these come with the trade log. To illustrate that again, when you come over to your tools, let's say you're using the scanner and you scan your product, you have access to your trade journal. You simply add it there, and then it gives you all your ratings. So if you're also someone who needs to document more, but doesn't like documenting through like Microsoft Excel or writing things down, this will do it automatically, which is pretty cool. And then you can, again, click on the drop down and it can give you all those details. So if I go back and we have coaching and I say, okay, tell me about your oil trade, you don't need to really remember what you did. We'll just come over here and look at your log and really kind of analyze what happened with that trade. So both of the scanners, or the scanner and the grader, come with that trade log, unlimited scans, and those ones are going to be discounted price month to month. And then for coaching, this is not the same as regular packages. I need to fix that, but this is actually a really good deal, and this is the best deal I've had all year. So if you are interested in coaching, this is normally the price for one session, $225. What I'm doing for the next 3 days is you can get 3 sessions for $225, 7 for $495. This is more the best deal again that I've had, or 13 for $895. And how I would like to use these is that you get the coaching, maybe you sign up for one of these resources, maybe you like the daily picks and you want to learn how to use it, or you've been using it, tie that in with coaching. You can mix and match how you see fit. So for new students, that's going to be the discounts on the live trading rooms. The daily picks with the emails is here. You can bundle it with coaching. The scanner and the grader both have trade logs with them, unlimited scans, and then the coaching discounts. Yeah, it says same as regular packages, but it absolutely is not. And that's all. Everything that you need is going to be under the Friday special page. I will send a follow-up email that has this link here, but if you just go to KaitTrades.com, you'll see that page there. Let's see. So let me make sure I'm not missing any comments. Yeah, thanks, Patrick. Greg. Oh, rocking class. The more better everyone can help find the best. Absolutely, right? Like, use these resources. Come to the live trading room or the pre-market room. Say, hey, I'm looking at this trade. I ran it through the scanner. It found a sweet spot for us. Let's look at that and set up a trade that much faster, right? We're taking kind of the manual work out of it by letting the computer find where the strongest sweet spots are. So I'm so excited about this. I hope you guys are. And just seeing, really, as I go back to the trades here, how many of these ended up working out or are working out? They're all moving down. If you found that your sweet spot's identified, again, take a breakout trade or find your zone in that sweet spot. And you'll notice a lot of these are working very well, and it's going in the direction that we were anticipating, right? So again, a lot of work has gone into this. I think you guys will take advantage of this and benefit tremendously from this. So I'm excited to have you guys try it out. Let's see, does the scanner work on any time frame and cross to higher time frame? For the scanner, the time frames I have, and this is an easy update. So yeah, if you want to see other time frames, like I know Mark mentioned before, kind of the higher time frames, which I'll be adding for the scanner. The time frames right now are going to be these ones right here. If you have other time frames that you want to see added, like maybe you like a 30-minute, maybe you like, I know some of us like the 45-minute chart, or maybe a 6-hour, just let me know and I can have the team add those here for you guys. That's no problem. So yeah, scanner works on, for now, these time frames. The highest time frame is daily. what I can do here is I can add in, I could even add in weekly, monthly. Yeah, I can make this more expansive. Yeah. Good question, Greg. Thanks. Recognize and appreciate. Oh, thank you, Deb. Absolutely. Yeah, a lot of work. This was not an easy thing to do, and it took a lot of, right, to get the coding right on all of these has been a lot of work, but you'll be able to see the benefit of each of these, right? And then just seeing how they're working now and seeing a lot of trades, right, that we could have taken. I mean, here was one, we had a sweet spot formed. Here's a trade that worked. Salesforce, CRM, we formed the sweet spot. You would have gotten this trade as a zone. It came back into that activated doji zone here. Huge move to the downside. There's one that worked. Here is IBM. It found the sweet spot, came back up into it, came into the gap, didn't quite hit that zone, but that one's working. Let's see, this one, a little bit larger of an area. Here's a long trade, INTC, Intel. We have a bullish sweet spot. As price pulls back, we've got a couple different zones here that it's looking for an opportunity to go long, and it's seeing the trend. But if you took a breakout trade, again, you would be riding that momentum. Let's see. Tesla. Oh, here's Tesla. It actually had a short trade, which looks like it got triggered here. Sweet spot formed, came back up into it. We are getting a reaction off of it. Sweet spot momentum, Comcast has been dropping. This one looks like RTX is a trade that we'd be looking at. Look at this one. Sweet spot. Price came back to this 2-candle flip, and we're moving up from there. So again, let me know what you guys think. Take a look at the website. A lot of changes have been happening. All of the specials are going to be on the Friday special page. If you want to take a look at anything else, I would say if you missed any previous classes and you want the recordings and the course content, you can come to the course library and you'll see most of the previous events here where you can sign up and get the recordings and the content here. So if there's one you want kind of a refresher on or that you missed, like let's say you missed day trading the market open, that was a good one, or the rapid fire day trading, this was one of the most popular. You could get the recordings and content there. Coaching, so here's the normal pricing. If you are in coaching currently, you can also sign up for those deals. They don't expire, but this is going to be the normal pricing for coaching for 1, 3, and 6 sessions. And you'll see on the Friday specials, if you go all the way down to the bottom, this is going to be significantly better pricing. So again, for current coaching students, or if you're interested, you would want to use those options down there. Let me see what else. And then if you just want to learn more about the method that I use, this is a new page as well, kind of breaks down what we do here, the process, gives you a little bit more detail on the zones, the 2-candle flip, double-sided breakout, tells you what we look for, the wick over wick reversal, continuation doji. So it can give you some more info here if you want to look into these and just get some more detail on all of that. Trading rooms are going to be here. If you go to live trading, you can see the options for live trading and pre-market room, but you do get for new students those discounted pricings by coming over here. You can see all of that there. So thank you all for being here. Thanks, Greg. What you teach works so well. This tool greatly reduced the workload by increasing trade opportunities. Absolutely right. That's the goal, is to have you guys spend less time with your analysis. A lot of students kind of do analysis paralysis, and we spend hours doing this. All of these tools are designed to make it simpler for you. You know, have that extra companion and tool to use to filter your trades through and really say, is this a trade I should take? Yes, one of these services is confirming that, or hey, I was totally wrong on this. I'm gonna scrap this trade, right? So it is designed to increase trade opportunities and increase the more probable ones through all the coding on the back end. Thank you guys for being here. I did not think I was going to go over this much, but for those of us who stayed, I appreciate you guys on a Friday, right? On a holiday. You guys are no joke for being here and devoting your time to trading. And I know that. And I always want to simplify trading for you guys and make it easier. The markets have been crazy lately and volatile. And I know a lot of us have been struggling a bit with some trade opportunities. So I wanted to create these resources to help you guys navigate the markets more easily and have these extra tools in your back pocket to use just so you can be smarter with the trades you're taking. So thank you all for being here. I'll send out the recording here shortly, as well as the link for the Friday specials. Again, those are all going to be for the next 3 days for Juneteenth over the weekend. So make sure you get signed up. If you have any questions, send me an email. I'll be more than happy to help. Thank you guys for being here. Thanks, Ken, Greg, Dave, everyone here. Have a wonderful, wonderful holiday and weekend, and I will see you all on Monday. Have a great weekend, everyone. Talk to you guys soon. Thanks, Lon. Bye-bye.